Hey and welcome back to the channel, and today I've got a DaVinci Resolve quick tips video for you. If you make gaming videos, or like me you're making software tutorial videos a lot, or any videos that have a lot of on-screen content, then having a webcam overlay with your face in it can make your content significantly less boring. You mean something like this? Kind of, but that's a little bit boring. I was thinking something more like this. Oh, cool, but for that we're going to need Fusion, right? No, don't worry, we're not going to be using Fusion for this exercise. Everything I'm going to show you, you can do right from the edit page. If you've looked at ways to do this circular webcam effect with a border in DaVinci Resolve, you've probably realized there's about 1,000 ways to do it. Some people like to delve into the Fusion page and string together a whole bunch of nodes. That's fine if Fusion is where you're comfortable, but what I'm going to show you today is just a simple trick you can use to generate a really cool looking webcam overlay straight in the edit page without going into Fusion. Let's dive straight in. So let's have a look in DaVinci Resolve. We can see what we've got. We've got two video tracks here. I've already synced these up with the audio. If we take a look at the first video in track 1, we can see here I've got my on-screen demonstration doing some technical stuff. And while I'm doing that, I'm narrating it, and I've got my face camera here on the second video track, if I just enable that. So what I want to do is create a webcam overlay for this track so it appears as a circle against the background. So as promised, this is going to be super easy. First, we're just going to create another video track because we're going to need something below here. And we're going to move the webcam track up. So we've got a spare track here in between the background and my face cam. So the first thing I'm going to do here is select my face cam track here. And I'm going to head over to the left here under the toolbox and open FX. And I'll just want to search for transform. And you'll find it under Resolve FX. And I'm going to bring over this transform effect and place it over my face cam track. Now we can see over here on the right, if you can't see it, then just click the inspector tab here. Under the Open FX tab, we've got all of the settings for this transform effect. And here I'm just going to head down and open up Image Adjustment. And under Image Adjustment, we see we have edge rounding here, and we're just going to pump that all the way up to 1, and you should get a perfect round circle. If that looks a little bit pixelated, we can add a very tiny amount of edge softness here just to give that a nice smooth edge. And I'm just going to come up and I'm just going to bring the zoom down very slightly, not too much, just to give me some room around the edges. And importantly, at the moment, I'm not going to change the position, so this is still perfectly centered. Now we can scrub the timeline to see how well my face is centered within the webcam. And we can see it's slightly over to the left there. So we're going to move away from the effects tab here and go over to video. And under video, we can adjust the dimensions of the video that's within the circle mask. So here I can just adjust to make sure that my face is nicely in the frame. Go down a bit and we can zoom that in a little bit. And just have a quick scrub over the timeline to make sure that's good. I'm happy with that. So the next thing we want to do to this is add the fancy border, and this is where a lot of people think you need to go into Fusion and do a lot of mad stuff, but there's a little trick that I'd like to show you here. If we go over to Generators, here we can either select a solid color, or if you want something a little bit more fun, then pull over a 4-color gradient. And we're going to pull that onto the track underneath our face cam. And then I'm going to drag it out for the length of the entire clip. These are the default colors. If you want to change these, if you click onto the gradient here, over here on the inspector tab, we can change the colors of the gradient. So we could make it a left to right or an up to down or a 4-point gradient like we've got here. I'm going to leave the colors as they are here. I think they look pretty cool. Now for the cool trick, we're going to come down to the gradient tab here. We're going to right click on it and we're going to select new compound clip. And now it's a compound clip, then we can add effects to this. So we're going to come back over to Open Effects on the left and we're going to search again for our transform effect. This is the same one that we added to the video track. And this time we're going to drag the transform effects over to our new compound clip. And we're just going to repeat what we did to the facecam track. So we're going to come over here to the Effects tab under Inspector. Again, we're going to come down and open up Image Adjustment. And the same way as we did with the other track, we're going to take Edge Rounding and just pump that all the way up to 1. So this is why it was super important that we didn't change the position of the face cam just yet, that it remains perfectly centered, because that makes this step a lot easier. Now we're just going to come up a little bit, still on the Effects tab in the Inspector. I'm going to come over here to Zoom, and here we can change the size of our border. If it's jumping around a lot like that, then I suggest you use the numbers here where you can get finer control and a lot slower movement. And I'm just going to adjust this to a thickness that looks good around there. Now just to add just a little more finesse to my webcam overlay, I'm going to come back over here to effects and I'm going to search for drop shadow, which you'll find under Resolve FX. I'm going to bring the drop shadow and pull it straight over my new compound clip. This obviously has a lot more effect if you've got white in the background, but for now we're just going to keep this and we're going to set the strength relatively high and the distance a little bit lower just so it doesn't take up too much of the screen. One other small detail, we can see that the border is slightly pixelated still, so we can do what we did to the other transform. So we select our new compound clip, we can come over to effects, and then we come down here under image adjustment. We can just set the edge softness just a little bit, just to take off that jaggedness. So now all that's left is to generate a compound clip out of the two of these so we can manage them together. So I'm just going to select the compound clip that has the border and my facecam clip. And then we're going to right click and come up to new compound clip, which is going to tie all of these together. We can call that, let's say, webcam. And now we have that as a compound clip and we can make sure that's highlighted and that we are using transform here over on the left. Now we can manipulate this, we can resize it and reposition it exactly how we want it on our main screen. So something like that. So there we have it. Now I have my nice webcam overlay talking head with a fancy border overlaying my demonstration content below. So there you have it, fancy webcam overlays with no fusion. So I hope you enjoyed today's quick tips video. If you did, then please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. Until the next time.